was about room sharing. So how does that work, Linda? Like if somebody wanted to share a room that was both doing the retreat.
Yeah, if they're both doing the retreat, then they split the room, and that, I mean, I did this for, I think it was for Doris or somebody else that wrote in the question. And I think the price ends up being like $21.15 a piece instead of what it is now. So each person saves about $600 and some dollars.
Okay.
So that's for the sharing if you are participating also.
Right.
So that includes all of the, the excursions, dinner, that kind of thing. If you're coming as a partner and you just want to share the room, then you're just sharing the room,
That would be my husband.
And if he wants to participate in some of the things like the, arrival dinner, departure dinner, I mean, he may want to do that. Then we have to collect money separately for those excursions.
Exactly. Okay. Understand that.
Yeah. And so, if you're doing it with friends, like if two friends want to share a room and one person registers, you can both send in your deposit and then just tell me, I mean, we're not that many people, so it's easy to keep track of. That's why I have writing in the room, and just email me and so are sharing, the Paloma Law, whichever one it is. So, and that makes it easy. And then I just reserve it on the website.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, and then you just, Mom, or anybody here, if you need help registering, I can just help you do that. Like,
I'm sorry, Shirley, I'm sorry that you had problems with that. And I'm part of it is I think I wasn't as clear as I could have been, but because we're also used to, I know when we book rooms, you click on the room and it should come up. But so it's just when you register, you're filling out your email on the registration form. All you're doing is choosing your room. And then the email has a second page with some questions and then a comment box where you can write in an answer to a question. And just write, Shirley, Paloma Loft. That's all you need to do, just so I can keep track of it. And then I can put a reserved marker on it so no one else can take that room.
Okay. So how much is the cost of, like, if I was participating, my husband wasn't, I would just be paying the participation cost, right? Correct? Yes. And he would just be sharing the room with me.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you would just have to, like, if you did that, Mom, you would just have to tell Linda that Dad is coming with you. And then,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then maybe Aunt Kathy or whoever wants to, people could share a room or whatever. She was looking for something like that.
Okay.
So the other, does everybody feel comfortable with that? Okay. So the other questions that a couple of questions that were emailed in were refunds on if the trip was canceled or if they canceled the trip. And so there is no deposit, no refunds on the deposit.
Right.
And I'm reading what we wrote because
so no refund on the deposit, but if you, for example, if you if you make the deposit in the next whenever you want to do it, and then you can pay as much or as little as you want towards the balance in the coming months. It's just that the final balance is due November 15th. I think that's what I had, right, Missy? Is that what I had? November 15th. Yeah. So whatever money that you've paid up to October 1st can be refunded, but not after October 1st. So, and I put that on the website, so I hope it's clear on there.
Yeah, and that reasoning is also because we want to be able to fill all these spots, and there's no way that we're going to be able to fill
Yeah,
a spot from October to November. Yeah, so we want
right.
we
So
want to
there's not.
fill the retreat. So we want.
Mhm.
I mean, no matter how many people will come, we just it'll be fun, but we'd rather have the whole house if we can get enough rooms. That way we can, run naked if we want.
With our margaritas.
With our margaritas.
No.
Somebody asked about what's the vaccination in San Miguel?
Well, it's funny, Missy, I think Missy and I were talking about this, but I got my first shot here at the end of April or the third week of April. And then I got the second one in Richmond, Virginia. So I just got back from the States last week. I was there for a month. So, but they have vaccinated. I have to double check the numbers. There's very good site information, and there's a really good Facebook group that if you're super worried about that, you can join. It has been a godsend for the expat community here because it's run by this team, this crack medical team of volunteer expats, nurse practitioners and doctors, and they've just kept the community kind of informed about any changes in the law, when the vaccines are happening and all that. So to get into the country, Mexico does not require a COVID test. So, for example, I had to get a COVID test from here when I went to the States last month, but Mexico does not require it on return. Now, if you book a flight, you're all coming from North Carolina, so most likely your flight will either go through Dallas or Houston or Atlanta sometimes. But check with those states because you may still have to get a COVID test to get on the plane. So you have to check with your airline to see if you need it to go to that state. Most of them, I think, are not requiring them, but that's something
So
that
even if you're vaccinated, or do you think you just showing your vaccination card probably?
Well, again, I don't know. I think it's like changing weekly. So I don't know what the airlines are requiring now. Like I said, I just flew last month and I had to have a COVID test that I had to hand to American Airlines when I checked in. That I had my negative COVID test, and then there were a couple of forms that you had to download. But that's the kind of thing that they alert you when you book your ticket. Whatever airline you use will let you know that. So, yeah. But to get here, to enter the country, you do not need a COVID test. So
enter the United States? Oh,
pardon?
Mexico. Yeah.
So on the return flight from Mexico to the United States, that would be your airline will let you know probably.
No, as of now, that's you will need a COVID test to go back, enter the States from Mexico. So that's something that, I didn't, I purposely didn't put a lot of the COVID information on the website just because there's so much information on there already. And I felt like that's something we could address when people registered and we had our group and,
And things could change.
Yeah,
and
Things.
exactly. I know they keep changing, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's pretty easy to get a COVID test here. The Red Cross does them. They're not free. It's about, I got one for the equivalent of $40, I think, on the way back. And it was the rapid test. It took 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get the results. So, and again, you have to check with your airline. Most of them, I think, are accepting the rapid tests now. So that's not an issue.
Yeah, I mean, and March is so far away. This all could be so different. Yeah. So
are all of you vaccinated? Are you?
Yes.
Or will you be becoming vaccinated? Okay.
Yes.
So that's good. That's good. And as far as the, everybody here is still wearing masks. You still have to wear masks in stores and restaurants. They're still in most places, checking your temperature and having gel and tracing and all of that.
Wow.
So they're still doing that here.
More than here.
Well, honestly, yeah, they are doing it more here than when I saw in Richmond. They weren't
Yeah,
doing it at
yeah.
all there. So, I mean, San Miguel has been, um, Mexico has had its share of issues, but this town has done pretty well with the COVID restrictions and the protocols and all of that. And any place that had to open back up, hotel, restaurant, they all had to be certified with their the COVID regulations in terms of cleaning and whatever they're doing and all that. So yeah, and you can be assured in one sense that I mean, I'm segueing into various topics, I guess, but in terms of getting sick, like, I mean, restaurants here, they don't want you to get sick. They depend on tourist dollars. So like water, salad, it's all fine. It's all
Yeah.
fine to eat
Mm.
in any restaurant here. So that's, I mean, having said that, I can't guarantee that everybody would get. I've lived here for 9 years. I've never had that turista, what everybody calls the turista.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess that's a good, what about, like, so we did have a question about, and Jenny, who is not here, who we are actually, she's the one that asked if I would record it. She asked about,
okay.
I know you answered her, but just in case anybody else has a question about how much extra money you think that they should bring along
Oh,
with them.
well, that's
For the
that's a hard
meals and
question to
stuff.
ask. I don't know what people's shopping habits are or spending habits, or if you tend to shop a lot when you travel or you want to buy things. I think I counted, there's four lunches and a few dinners that you'll need to buy on your own. And as I said before, I'm going to, for all the people participating, I'll send out a whole survival guide that has a lot of different things on there, but one of them is a list of restaurants that I love and recommend. I have it, and I pulled it out the other day, and I thought, oh my God, half of them have closed, sadly, because of COVID. So a lot of things have shifted around in the last couple of years. But typically you can get a really nice lunch for $5, the equivalent of $5 dinner, maybe 10. I mean, even 10 can be fancy. 10, 15, and 20, that's pretty fancy here.
So now does our house, and does it have a main kitchen that we're able to use?
Yes, for the whole house, that's the beauty of the whole house too, because there is a kitchen that anybody can use. And some of the suites, there's one suite that has a kitchen. I forget which one it is now.
I think it's the one that we're staying in. But I think Ron was, my husband, he's quite a good chef, and so he was like, I think he wants.
Yeah, and I mean, it's up to you guys. Everybody has their different flavor when they travel. I mean, I personally, when I travel with friends and stuff, we like to cook because it saves money, and it's fun to do that. But some people, that's part of the experience. You want to, go out and eat and try the food, and I highly recommend that, of course. And you can have a nice meal out it's not that expensive. And so, cabs for all the excursions is already included, and entrance fees, those are included for the hot springs, and so you don't have to worry about that kind of money. Drinks, again, it depends. It can vary wildly. I mean, I think we put on like an optional on the schedule, rooftop drinks at the Rosewood, right? And so the Rosewood is one of the most expensive hotels in town, but it's got the most killer view. And so it's always fun to bring guests there because, it's got a beautiful view. And, but, I mean, drinks are a lot more there. A glass of wine is probably $9 or $10, where it might be 4 somewhere else. So,
Yeah,
it's that kind of.
going for a couple of drinks to get those pictures
Sure.
and I don't know.
Yeah, no, of course. That's what I said. I mean, you're on vacation, it's fun to do that every once in a while. I mean, so yeah, it's not, I mean, you won't need money for that many things unless you want to, if you want to go shopping. And again, that varies wildly depending if you want to get artisan type, objects like textiles or leather or whatever else they have in the artisans, the Mallorca, Talavera, not Mallorca, Talavera plates, things like that. So it's, they're not that expensive, but so yeah, so you won't need too much more.
And I think the one thing that that we've gotten the most questions about was safety, the safety of San Miguel and the safety of traveling from the airport to to San Miguel, right, and vice versa.
So as I said in the website, I highly recommend that you book your flight to either Querétaro or León. And the flights to Mexico City will be cheaper, but by the time you factor in, it's another 3.5 hours to San Miguel, and then you'll have to pay for the shuttle, which on the service we're using is $75. So it's not that cheap. I've used this service Bahia Go for 10 years almost, and they're super great, reliable. They're always there. I can't believe some of the flights that I'm thinking, oh my God, hours late, and there's the guy, with your name on it. And you
have a sign with your name on it.
Yeah, you're gonna come. So I should ask. So are you as this group? You've traveled internationally. I mean, you've gone sort of through customs and things like that. You're familiar with that process.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Costa Rica.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
So obviously, you get off the plane, you have to go through customs with your paperwork and all of that. And the airport in León, the other nice thing about it is that it's a small airport. Mexico City is huge airport. So León is a very small airport. You go, as soon as you exit, when you get your bag, it's just sort of going through, you just go to the exit, and he's usually standing at the exit with your
yeah, and most international flights and most international airports make it very easy where it's, it says customs and baggage claim, like, so you're just following the signs to where
sure.
to go. And most of the what are they called? The people that work at the airport?
The customs agents?
Yeah, customs. They're bilingual, so they'll be able to understand what you're saying.
Yeah, at the airport.
So and usually the flight attendants and stuff that are on your flights are going to be bilingual too, so they're going to be very helpful.
No problem at the airport.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Like, whoever does decide to do to register for this, we're going to put together a little Spanish lesson for you guys that we can meet here. I mean, but we do have some people that are not local that are thinking of coming, so maybe they're not included in the Spanish lesson. Or we do it on Zoom or something like that. But
I've taught Spanish for about a million years.
So then we have someone that speaks Spanish right here.
Spanish teacher?
Travel together.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. There you go.
That's why I
all by myself.
That's why.
Well, out of the group, Shirley is the only one that's registered. So I'm sure that you guys, maybe if you're into traveling with other people,
I would much rather travel.
Then maybe this could be something that you guys can exchange.
Or if nothing else, there's a power to solve a problem.
Yes. Yeah. So,
I mean, guys, once people are registered and we have our group, you guys can, coincide and see if you can get the same flights, arrive the same time, whatever, and
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think
that's
that
the
would
part I'm
be-
most worried about. I
yeah.
want somebody else with me when I'm
Right.
arriving.
So, yeah, so we
But you
put
also
together
could
your
just-
flight. So that is something that you're gonna do on your own.
But it is easy enough to get a flight from here to those airports versus, I mean, it's easy
Oh,
to
yeah.
get that connection.
Yeah, so we were looking, when we were looking, Ron and I, just to see how much it was for us to fly out, we found flights from Wilmington, and they were almost as comparable as flying out of Raleigh. So, yeah, so Raleigh's about 3.5 hours from us, which is the big city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Wilmington's a smaller city, which is about 45 minutes, an hour away.
We're
So-
in little airport.
Yeah,
It is a
so
great little
we
airport.
didn't find anything, and then Myrtle Beach is on the other side of us, which is about an hour and a
Oh,
half
right,
away.
right.
But yeah, they also have a good little airport, and we fly out of there a lot too. But I think the
Okay.
best prices that we found were out of Wilmington.
Is
So
that true? Yeah, because I like to fly out of Myrtle Beach. But,
Well, and just to continue about the Bahia Go, so the guy, so he'll pick you up, and they usually, I mean, I've had many rides where it's a big van and it's just me. I mean, things change all the time, so it depends, but they usually pick you up in a van. So there's usually several people, and obviously if you come together, you'll be in the same group. So, and they have water for you. They'll give you bottled water, and it's very comfortable. And it's only about an hour and a half at the most, depending. And it's a pretty ride. So
about
if
the
you're
water,
coming-
they usually give you a coronita.
but we can pack. We can
What
hold-
is that? I don't know what that is.
A coronita, a small Corona.
Oh, Coronita. I thought you said chloronita, like chloride or something. Coronita.
Yeah.
No,
They usually give
no,
you.
no. That would be nice if you had a coronita. Yeah, but I don't give you- I
Yeah,
don't have to
the
wait.
majority of the people that are interested in coming are in our area. I think I have, I have a couple people that are, probably a handful of people that have said they're interested, outside of our area. But so, if all the people around here, once you all register, then we could just do another meeting and be like, here's who's
Yeah.
registered. Let's talk about
Well,
speaking
I
lessons.
think I sent it to one person, but again, it'll be for, once we get the group. The Bahia Go is really easy to just go to the website and you fill in your flight information, and they're very personable. There's, you can send a private message and they'll message you back, and they'll give you confirmation. So it's very easy to do on the website. To just make the round trip. You can make it the round trip, and then you don't have to worry about it when you come back, on the way back. And they give you the option, you can either pay with your credit card online, or you can pay the driver in dollars or pesos. Obviously you won't have pesos, they take dollars, and that's fine. So either way, whatever you want to do. And it's customary to tip the driver a little bit. So
Yeah, and Linda mentioned the other day that you don't necessarily have to transfer your money before you come, right?
well, not unless you want to. I mean, if it's convenient and you want to have a little bit, that's fine. It might just be, it depends on when people arrive. If you're arriving earlier in the day, you'll have a chance to go. We're about 2 blocks from the Jardín, which is in many parts of Mexico, it's called the Zócalo, which is the center of town. In San Miguel, they call it the Jardín, which just means garden. That's the center of town. So that's where the banks are and the ATMs. If you arrive late, you might just have to scurry up there in the morning, before we get started, or after breakfast or something like that. But it won't be that big of a deal.
So do most places take credit cards, like American Express and things like that?
It depends, if you're going shopping at the artisan market, no, those guys don't take credit cards. You can't pay for a taxi and credit card. In fact, taxis can't even, they won't even take, I already know this, but I was stuck the other day. In fact, I had just a 500 note, which is a 50, I'm sorry, not 500. Yes, 500, not 50, 500 peso note, which is only about $25. But the taxi drivers will not cash a 500 peso note.
So you want
So
small bills for things like
small
that.
bills, yeah, the more small bills, the better. It's just easier. You'll see people even in shops, they're running around like next door to see if somebody can change a 500 peso note. So, but some of this, a lot of the shops do take credit cards. Many restaurants take them, like upper scale restaurants, or not even, medium to upper scale restaurants. Obviously, the taco trucks and the that to eat.
Yeah, so really money, really cash.
Which I highly recommend. I highly recommend, by the way. So
Yeah, you want to eat off the street vendors.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
a
it's-
vegetarian.
Me
I mean, I pretty much
too.
know Mexican food. It's easy
Oh,
to
you too?
I
eat
am
there.
too.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so safety in San Miguel.
Okay. Well, somebody asked me a question specifically about that, and maybe that would be better.
Okay. All right, what kind of questions do you have about the safety in
Well, we're
San
going to be
Miguel?
traveling as a group. I looked it up on Google, and there were
I
as
did
many
too.
things that said, "Oh, most everything said don't go out alone at night," which I would not do anyway. If you're in a group, if you're out in the day, it's perfectly safe. Then other people went, "Oh my God, there's people with rifles!" So you got your alarmists, and you get there's a bunch of hogwash out there.
First of all, it's funny. I've been talking to a lot of people about this, especially recently, with the whole recent spate of renewed gun violence, like all the shootings in the States. And I looked this up a long time ago, since there was a list, excuse me, there was a list of school shootings from around the world from 1922, and Mexico wasn't on it once, and the US was on it 48 times. So, there's people, the media makes Mexico out to be like people are being gunned down in the street or something. And it's totally ridiculous and so overblown. And especially in San Miguel, which is a tourist town. And it's not just US and Canadian tourists. There are a lot of Mexican tourists that come to this town. So yeah, I mean, the narco stuff, of course, that stuff is real. It's sad and it's real. But you are not coming to sell drugs in San Miguel.
And you're probably not going to buy
I
drugs.
presume. So, it's really like, this is the thing. If you're not involved in the drug cartels, that violence is very, very unlikely to touch you. So, and I mean, are there, as I said, you should take precautions that you would anytime you travel. I mean, obviously you don't want to walk, you don't, I would leave valuable jewelry at home.
Yeah,
I would not carry your passport around with you, just in case, like you leave your bag, or I would advise you to make a copy of your passport, leave your passport in the safe at the hotel, and you carry the copy of your passport. Don't carry, a lot of credit cards, or, whatever you can't afford to lose. If there are robberies,
Yeah.
huh?
Will that all be in the survival guide or?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so my point is, you wouldn't, I mean, you try not to walk down the street like with a big map on the corner, but on the other hand, people are very, very helpful. And I was telling Missy earlier, I mean, I'm single. I've lived here for 9.5 years, and I regularly, I mean, this is pre-COVID. I haven't been anywhere since COVID, but I regularly walked around town at midnight by myself. I would never do that in Richmond, Virginia, where I lived for 30 years. Never. So I've always felt safe here, and I've never had an incident. So I mean, I can't say that nothing will happen, of course, we never know, but in my opinion, it's as safe as anywhere else and probably much safer. So much safer than the US makes it out to be.
Close to the house, there are restaurants close by, or there are shops kind of close, so you're just out walking and rambling and
Everywhere. You can't go half a block in San Miguel without there being food. I mean, yeah, no, it's a very village type feel. You know, you may have seen, got that feeling from the photos I posted. And I don't know if you had a chance, I posted a video on the website that gives you a little clue of
The video is great. Like, I mean, that is such a cute video. I love it so much.
Yeah.
I've watched it 10 times. Like, I'm ready to go.
It's like any town. It's like any place you go visit, anywhere too, in fact, that obviously Centro, where the hotel is and where we'll mostly be concentrated, you know, that's the nice part of town. And, you know, if you venture out into the colonias where people live and work, it's a little noisier, a little bit more, you know, not as charming. But it's the whole town is really just, you know, it's pretty magical. A lot of people feel that way about it. And the people are super friendly and helpful. San Miguel is really known for how friendly the people are. And I've seen amazing kindness from the most, unlikely sources, I think, sometimes here. So I highly recommend that.
Is most of our time like is there a lot of downtime when we need to find things to do, or you've got it pretty well? We're gonna be painting or doing something or together going out to dinner or.
Yeah, I mean, we have pretty much the schedule of what we're gonna do. I think it's on the website.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the
Yeah,
website.
so we're gonna do, like, we have one free day. You know, every morning we have breakfast at the house. Well, it's included, whether or not you decide you want to do that or not, it's up to you. And then the one free day is really the downtime that you have to go off and do something on your own if you want to, or whatever we just. I think, is that the day we're doing tequila tasting? I can't remember.
Oh, right. I think I had put that on there. Sorry, I had the other thing pulled up and I don't think I can. Oh wait, I guess I can. Where is it? There we go. I think that was the day, Missy, that we put.
Yeah,
I could be my buddy and we'll get a
we
plane
can,
together.
we can do, you know, like, because we'll be doing stuff. So whether or not we want to all do it as a group, or maybe half the group would like to go do one thing and the other half would like to do something else. That's, you know, we can talk about that. You know, once we're there, I'm sure we're all going to be best friends. So.
And my birthday's the 10th.
Here we go. So here we have.
Let's have a party.
What's that?
We have Thursday as the free day, and then we have an optional, because Missy had asked me about this for Ron, to do a tequila tasting at this place called El Pavo Real. And this is a friend of mine who has begun this beautiful wine tasting. And the website has a link. You can click on it and see their Facebook page. And that's not included in the retreat, but you know, we could go out there. You guys, I mean, Missy and Ron wanted to do that, so you guys can all certainly join if you want. Or again, this is the kind of thing that I'll put on the little survival guide, you know, about some other things that you might want to do or check out on the free days that are
Do you
happening
remember
in
which
town.
day is the free day?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday, and what's that date?
I'm not
We
sure.
start on a Monday.
Is
Oh, you know what?
I
It's
should have.
the third to the, what is the date? Third.
It's the
No,
7th through the
7th
13th.
through the 13th.
okay, it's the 7,
Just
8.
this one.
Oh,
that's
wait.
the
Well,
right?
mine were the day before. Okay.
Mine's
Okay.
in
So.
January. We're
So
just
the
gonna
9th
celebrate
is
everybody.
the 9th is your. So on the 9th is when I have half a day, right? Like we have something in the morning and then the afternoon we're free. I can't remember. Let me pull it up on the website.
No. Oh, you mean for the botanical gardens? Oh, here it is. That's Friday.
That's
So,
Friday.
so Friday we have, you want to do the journaling and at the botanical gardens. So
Right.
we'll have class, so it's at the botanical gardens, but you'll have your class there. And
Right.
then we're going to do lunch there. You don't have to, but they have a nice little cafe. It's a really lovely spot. And, but that's also not included. And then that afternoon is free, or you can schedule a meeting with Missy. That's what you have.
And by one-on-ones, I mean like if you need like a little private art lesson or something like that.
Are you guest
or if you-
artist?
No, I mean everybody I think here is about the same level
Okay.
of artness.
Oh, good.
Amateur.
I'm more of a writer
Me
than an
too.
artist.
Wednesday,
Well,
is your birthday, we're doing the rooftop bar. So
Oh,
that could be
wait,
your birthday
Is,
party.
is Wednesday, March the 10th?
I thought your birthday's the 9th.
It's the 10th.
Oh, the 10th is a free day.
Okay, we will
Alright.
party.
Party and
That's your birthday. Wow.
show
You know,
up,
the other thing that would be a great thing to do on the free day, we originally had it in the schedule, but we took it off for some,
on the
is
7th. Okay.
the hot springs. So the hot springs is a really nice, is a nice day trip. So,
Yeah, that would be fun. Okay, and then we have, so you can kind of see by the schedule, we're doing breakfast, and then when our artist tour, we're doing that all together. Then lunch, that's, we could do it separately, or we, however we want to do that. And then painting in the afternoon. And then like we are in this beautiful house too. So if you need any, like just take a little rest.
and I will tell you, you want to, we're at 6,000 feet. So the first couple days you might feel a little tired, it's just warm, it's walking, it's the altitude, and so those free times in between classes or after lunch, you might want to do the siesta so that you don't wear yourself out, and drink lots of water for sure. So.
And you did get Shirley's room as the Paloma, right? You wanted the Paloma. Okay.
Yes, I marked it
Yeah, they're
reserved.
really gorgeous.
Cool.
Yes, it's marked reserved.
Anything else?
I do have one other question.
Sure.
On Sunday, well, I'm sure once I start booking my flight, I'll figure out what time I can get in before the 6 o'clock dinner. But on Sunday, breakfast is 8 to 9, then we depart on shuttle. So about how long a shuttle ride is it, did you say? And then to get checked in at the airport, how early should I try booking a flight out, or?
Well, I mean, that's up to you. I mean, we just put, depart on shuttle. Doesn't mean we're departing at 9. That
Yeah.
depends on when your flight is. I
Right.
mean, I'll check with Barbara, but I mean, I'm pretty sure, I don't even know, as a matter of fact, I didn't ask her what the checkout date is, but I imagine you could stay until noon. If your flight was late in the afternoon, I'm sure you could leave your bags there, but I'll double check with her on
but
that.
How far is it from the
How
airport?
far is it from the
It's
airport?
about an hour and a half.
Ooh.
So hour and a half.
So it's not that far. It's not very far.
I'm gonna have to go into Mexico City.
Yeah, there's 2
Amen.
airports, and are they both about the same, an hour and a half?
Querétaro is a little closer, about 45 minutes.
Which one?
Querétaro.
Okay.
So it's QRO is the airport code, or BJX. BJX is Leon.
Okay.
Is Leon, that's the one that you usually fly into, is that what you're saying?
Yes, I
Hour and a
usually
half.
fly out of Leon.
And then most international flights are like 2 hours ahead of time, right? 2 hours ahead of time is most international
So
flights,
you're in
right?
Central. Are you in Central time, Linda?
No, we're just only an hour. We're only an hour. We're an hour before you guys right now.
It's what about
So it's not the time difference is not very much.
there?
So when you flew from Richmond to get there, what was your flight time?
I left generally from Richmond. The flights are almost always early. So I left at, this time I left at 7:30. That was kind of late. But I had a great flight, actually. I got in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I've had a hard time from Richmond. Sometimes I have a hard time finding flights to get in early, so you definitely want to go as early as you can. I don't know what it's like from where you guys are, but yeah. And I would definitely recommend the insurance. We didn't talk about that. I don't know if anybody.
Oh, no, but we did have a question about travel insurance. Yeah.
Well, I mean, whenever I travel, I always buy the insurance. It's up to you guys whether, like, for me, for example, I have Mexican insurance, and so it doesn't cover me in the States. So when I go to the States, I buy the insurance that has the medical coverage. It's not that much money. I mean, it's like $35. It usually comes up with your flight. When you book your flight, there's
Okay.
usually each airline has an affiliated insurance company that they use, and they'll ask you if you want to buy it, and it just charges with your ticket. But read the fine print. If you want the medical, you have to make sure that it's included in that. And you can also do it separately too. I just find it
In
convenient to do
Mexico,
it
we
with
didn't have medical insurance, but we've never had problems getting like checked out when we were sick or anything.
Oh, no, I mean, if
Yeah, and
you,
it was like,
if there's a problem, no, don't worry. I mean, believe me, I'll tell you what, the cheapest thing that I've used many times in a pinch, if you just need an antibiotic, say you come down with a flu, I don't know, or something. And there are these places called consultarios, and there are a lot of them. They're about the size of a closet. You don't need an appointment. You go in, it costs 50 pesos to see the doctor, which is about $2.
that's what we used when we were there.
Yeah.
And there was
But
like if you get like a bladder infection, like I get them all the time.
Sinus
So,
infection
yeah,
or
sinus
something.
infection or something like that. They were very helpful. So
Yeah. So generally speaking, it's pretty. I mean, if something serious happens, obviously there's a very good hospital. It's only a couple of years old, this new hospital, and I had to spend the night in that hospital a couple of years ago for an emergency, and I got the most amazing care. So
Don Miguel.
yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry about that, but in terms of, that's a personal decision in terms of what you want covered. If you think something terrible is going to happen and your insurance doesn't cover it, then everybody has to feel comfortable individually with their own coverage, so for that. But I definitely recommend it for, if your flight gets canceled or you lose your luggage, or I don't know, I always think it's worth it.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, with
Right.
COVID, yeah, especially when you don't know.
Yeah, and again, you'd have to check with the airlines. I think they're all giving up their goodwill now because for all this year, I know you could change your flight without any time without any fee. But now that summer is coming and people are getting vaccinated, I think they're doing away with that. So so sometimes those insurance things cover changes. You can change your flight without a fee or whatever. So they're all different. You just have to do the print. Okay. Anything else?
She answered all your questions.
I think so right now. For me.
So none of you have ever been to Mexico.
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah.
You have,
Only
Tracy?
yes.
You're Tracy, right?
That's
You're
Tracy,
Tracy.
Linda,
I have.
Yeah.
and then my mom's Mary.
Mary. And where have you been in Mexico, Linda?
Cancun. It's a totally different experience.
That's not really Mexico.
Yeah, I know. It's the Yucatan Peninsula. But I have wanted to come to San Miguel de Allende for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it would have been a lot different 30 years ago, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's changing a lot, I will say. It's changed a lot, even in the short time I've been here. So, you know, for good, you know, it's always a double-edged sword, I think, when places change, of course. So
Yeah,
it's
we
some
live
good
in a place that's changing as we speak.
Definitely.
Really? Is there a lot of construction and
Yeah,
building going
there's like no, like when I moved here in 2009, and I know Linda's been here longer than that, and you've been here longer than that. Yeah, I don't know how long have you been
I
here?
lived on an island for a year.
All right, so she's a new one, but yeah, there's like no empty lots left.
Yeah.
Pretty
It's
much on the
crazy.
island.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And my
There's
mom
a
and
lot
dad
of
just
it-
moved down here too. So.
Oh, do they live here?
Yeah, I don't know why my mom's on Zoom.
Yay, Mary. Welcome.
There's a lot of construction going on here too, like mostly outside of San Miguel. Like they're building a lot of, they're basically like little suburbs, you know? It's a little bizarre. I don't know who's all gonna live there.
But there's a lot of people that have moved to San Miguel from our area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
there-
mean, it's still, I don't know what the current population is. I think it's like it hovers like between 150 and 180. But you know, but a lot of those people are not, even people that own houses here, they only live here a few months of the year or 6 months of the year. They come for the winter. So, and there's
There are a lot
also a big water shortage here. So people are concerned about so much construction with the water shortage, and we're kind of in a drought right now.
Yeah, we are too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there an
Wow.
expatriate community there?
I'm sorry.
An expatriate community there? A lot
Oh,
of.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of
that's, yeah,
the biggest
that's
in
what I
Mexico.
yeah.
It's about, again, I haven't kept up with the numbers, but there's maybe like 10,000
Mm-hmm.
expats within 150,
How big is
180
the town?
population, I think.
How big is
So,
the town?
huh?
How big is the town?
You mean in terms of,
Population.
about, it hovers around like between 150 and 180.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not super sleepy. You know, it's a total walking town. You know, pedestrians have the right of way. The cars, there's no street lights, there's no stop signs, except now only going out of town, but those were just installed this past year. So the cars only go like 25, 30 miles an hour through town because it's all cobblestone. And so there's always people on the street walking around, and it's very user friendly that way.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yes,
Yes. Uh-huh. Do you write in Spanish and English?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can write in Spanish. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I'm not, you know, it's funny,
I love it. Well, we're journaling too.
Yeah, good. That's good. I can journal.
my Mexican friends tell me that I'm fluid, but I never feel like I'm fluent, you know. And I think it depends on the situation. There are certain days where, and you know, as another language speaker, it's like some days you feel like the words are really flowing and it's all good, and then other days it's like, I don't know, I can't think of any. As a friend once said, I'm out of Spanish. You know, he's like,
My Spanish flows with tequila.
that's what I always say too, Linda. Depends on how many tequilas I've had. Yeah, but you know, in terms of the language, and I'm sure you've all heard this. I mean, Mexicans have a reputation of being so super friendly, and they are so patient with the language. They love it if you just try. They really do. You know, and you know, but even if you don't, it's okay. A lot of people like to practice their English too. You know, so yeah. So it's
So
all
in
good.
Linda's speaks Spanish and Linda speaks Spanish, and then Ron, my husband, speaks Spanish.
Oh, he does?
fluently.
Good.
Yeah, so we've got,
Fine.
like, I think we're gonna be fine as a group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
then
yeah,
there's
no,
that
the
would take
language would be a problem.
A little bit.
Oh, what did you say, Missy?
I said my mom and dad were trying to learn Italian, so that's kind of on the same.
It's okay.
House better.
It's okay.
Dad's better.
Okay, anything else? Or, I mean, if there's anything that you think of after, please don't hesitate to email me. I'm happy to answer any question. No question is stupid or insignificant, you know, it's all things that are foreign and weird seem foreign and weird until you get, you know.
Well, once we get our group together and, you know, as we get into 2022, maybe we'll have another Zoom call, just.
Yeah.
to
Oh, sure,
see
absolutely,
if
absolutely. Oh, yeah.
anybody-
And then, and we can also have like a group email where we're just, you know, have a record of
That would be
things.
great, yes.
What are you on, is anybody on any of those like Slack or Telegrams or anything like that? Okay, group email's good.
I have WhatsApp. I mean, I'll tell you what,
I'm on WhatsApp.
We're gonna
yeah, it's interesting here. Everybody, we all use WhatsApp. I don't even know anybody's phone number. Even all my friends here, we talk to each other on WhatsApp. I never call or text anybody. And it's funny in the States, my friends, they're like, WhatsApp. Like they don't. use it.
Yeah.
But here and Europe, I know too, when I was in Europe last a million years ago, I mean, everybody uses WhatsApp there. So we can do, you know, once we get here, we can have a group WhatsApp. I mean, so there's, you know, there's lots of ways to communicate. Oh, I've got to move around and get my charger. Hold on.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, because you don't have to pay those, if you know people from other countries, it's like, that's how you text, because then you don't have to pay the, whatever.
Yeah, it's like Skype, but on your phone, you know, so you can call for free, you can text, you can record, you can send photos. I think it's the best thing since anything. I love WhatsApp. And I am one of the most low tech persons, really. I don't really do too much, but WhatsApp is good for me. So okay. So don't hesitate to let me know if you have any more questions or anything pops up. So
Was today the deadline to register to get the channel?
Yeah, what time
Can
the
you
end?
like
yeah,
send
but I'll tell you what, I think it's fine. I mean, I hope it's okay, Missy. I'm fine to extend it another week if you want to do
I
that.
think that would be great, yeah. Yeah, because I know that there's people that didn't show up tonight that, I know, so
Sure.
my friend Sean, you know Sean, she was.
Oh,
supposed to
Sean's
come
gonna
to-
come?
Yeah, so she's looking to come, but her son, I don't know if he got in trouble.
Hey.
That would be great. That would be great.
So-
Yeah. Yeah, so just let your people know, Missy, that we'll just extend it for another week.
I'll do
And
it tomorrow morning, it'll be like a surprise.
Very
Like,
good.
I feel like every day is a surprise with me.
Very good.
Thank you, Linda, it was awesome.
Bye, Linda. Bye, Mary.
Thank you all. I hope we'll see you in San Miguel. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Adios.
Bye.